Hi guys. Hi. Hi everyone. How's it going? Hi guys. Hi. Hi Anusha. Hi Pari. Hi, how's it going? How's Saturday night going for you? Saturday evening. Hi Aarti. Okay, I hope you all are excited because today is yet another amazing live, and we are going to be joined by a very renowned makeup artist. Her name is Natasha Arya. She's been in the industry for over 8 years, and she's worked with renowned names like Tarun Tehliani, Vidya Tikari, Virginia Holmes, and many others. She has also been a makeup artist for movies like Pyar Ka Panchnama 2 and Wedding Pulao. So, yes, and she's also going to show us how to get the perfect contour. She's going to share her tips, tricks, and lots of secret techniques that she's used on actors and Tarun Tehliani's brides and many others. Also, we have a very special giveaway today. So, if you want to be a part of the giveaway, you need to stay tuned, watch the entire live, and you may be a lucky winner. So, without further ado, I'm going to patch in Natasha. Hi, I'm loving the excitement, guys. Hi, Afreen. Hi, Natasha. Can you hear me?
Hi Radhika, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. I hope I'm visible to
Yes,
everybody.
you are. And we're super excited to have you. I was just telling our viewers all about you. So tell us something about yourself. And yeah.
Radhika, there's a little bit of a lag. Okay, yeah, so I can see you better. So can we switch off the comment section because I can't see myself? So should we switch off the comment section for a bit?
Sure.
And then we can switch on the comment section by the end of the session so that everybody can ask their questions then.
Can we keep the session, like, can we keep the comments on while makeup so that we can get the questions from the viewers as you proceed with the steps? Maybe
Right,
you can
okay.
turn it off. Is there an option for you to turn it off? Or it's just me?
Let me have a look. Okay,
Or
I don't
maybe
think I can do that. You'll have to do that.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can
And
switch it off for a bit right now and then
sure.
get on to it again.
Go ahead,
Great.
tell us
So
about.
I'll begin with introducing myself. And I've been doing makeup for almost 7 years to 8 years. I mostly do bridals, and I'm very hands-on with doing bridal makeup, a lot of photo shoots, work with a lot of renowned designers. And I don't really like to play your own trumpet, but I've been working and doing this for a long time now. And of course, I teach makeup, we take care of grooming classes. And since you guys are mostly into like organizing master classes, so a lot of that is what we also do. Just teach makeup to people. A lot of people want to become artists. So, they want to then come and learn makeup. So I do teach makeup to professionals as well as to people who want to learn makeup for themselves. So we started this thing called Be Your Own Artist, especially during the lockdown. So a lot of people, wanted to just learn makeup. So that, of course, was like a very big thing that we did during the lockdown. So mostly, and you've taken care of most of my introduction. Yeah.
Amazing. Tell us what you're going to show us today.
So as the name says, contour and contour. So, that's what we are going to do. We are going to work on structuring your face. And so the process of contouring, highlighting, and brightening, it goes hand in hand. Contouring is where you kind of chisel down whether, so a lot of people have this misconception that when you talk about contouring, it's mostly that, you chisel your cheeks and then you kind of sleek down your nose and want to hide the double chin. and make the forehead look smaller. But contouring and highlighting is very, very individual as to each face, because everybody's face structure is different, everybody's features are different. So, for people, let's say if they have a broad forehead, so they need to kind of contour the sides. But if somebody has a small forehead and they begin to contour that, then it begins to look even smaller. So that is how you kind of differentiate with each face. And that's why you got to study your face, you got to enhance your features. So that's how we'll go about this session and talk about how we must kind of, make sure that your features are enhanced and yet look really, really sharp. And the face should look structured. I mean, makeup is so powerful, it's so magical. None that very little people know that a lot of people, go in for surgeries, or they don't know, I know a lot of people who have like a slight difference in the way that their nose is, and then they want to go in for, very slight surgery, because they're like, and makeup is so powerful that you can easily fix it with contouring, and it's like a minute process. So makeup is so powerful that you can do so much with it. It's not only like, giving you a good base and doing glamorous eyes. It's much, much more than that. So that's what contouring actually takes care of. Yeah. So contouring kind of puts the skin down, wherever it has to like kind of give a shadow. That's what contouring is. And highlighting is wherever you want your skin to look enhanced, like looked up. So that's why it's a process that kind of goes hand in hand.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Super excited. I'm going to turn the comments on so that
yeah,
we can get our questions. Let's get started.
Absolutely.
You can make it bigger for yourself.
I could?
You can do that, I suppose. Not very.
Very, very technologically challenged, I guess.
Okay, let's.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. How do I do that?
Nope.
Okay, I guess we'll just stick to this, and I'll just stick to the right side then. Okay. So we'll begin with contouring. And as far as people have questions, so guys, what are the kind of issues that you face with contouring? Please go ahead and ask that, and I'll be more than happy to.
Questions that our viewers put in the morning. So tell us, like, what's the best base that you do before contouring? What do you do? What are the steps that lead you towards contouring?
So basically contouring is a process like I told you. So right now what I've done is I've done my eye makeup. If you can see from a distance, I can't see much because of the comments. But if you can see my face from a distance, what I've done is I've done my eyes, and I've done very little base, because I want to go ahead with the process of highlighting and contouring on the camera. So I've done very little base. Now what contouring will do is it's going to like give me a little bit of chisel with the cheekbones. It's going to make my nose look sleeker, because that's another process. Of course, I'm going to do some contouring on the jawline, because a lot of people want that to happen as well, even if it's a little bit of a problem of a double chin. Yes, I also suggest to people who have a lot of problem with a double chin, please don't go ahead with using dark colors of contour or going overboard with contour, because somebody who's looking at you, I've seen that at so many weddings, Radhika, that from here it's just looking so dark, it looks so bad. From the front it might look okay, but from the side it looks like a dark patch. So always use the correct colors of contour, like things like those. So, and also don't go overboard with the contour. So we're going to kind of go ahead and teach how to kind of camouflage the jawline, the forehead, and sometimes nowadays contours have become very popular with the lip, because you want to make the lip look more pouty. So this is an area you contour, and then you kind of overdo your lip line to make it look more pouty, get that 3D kind of an effect. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do all these things.
Amazing.
Now, when it comes to contouring, there are two processes. One is, of course, the cream contour. The other is a powder contour. Okay. So I'll show you a few things when it comes to contour. One, of course, is this really nice contour stick by Fenty Beauty that I use for cream contour. I'll just show the products to everyone. So when it comes to cream contour, the products that I swear by, and most artists I feel, because kind of following everybody and knowing what everybody, when everybody discusses products. So this stick Mocha by Fenty Beauty happens to be a very neutral color, and kind of works for most Indian skin tones, darker as well as medium and light. So this works perfectly. There is another shade by Plunge. This is one of the contour sticks that I swear by. It's again a cream contour stick. It's in the shade Truffle. It's by Plunge by O3 Plus. So this is one. And then if you talk about cream contours, I have this Smashbox stick again, different shades of the stick. So from one side, it is a contouring stick. The other side, it is a highlighting stick. So it's like a dual stick. And you get them in 3 shades, so everybody can kind of try and test what works for them and pick it up. Then you have palettes like these, which are concealer palettes. These are like pro artist palettes. And they have all the shades, if you can see, right from oranges to very darks to browns. So most people, if they have like a lighter skin tone, so there is a shade for them. If there is a very dark skin tone, then there's a very dark brown for them. So, these are the kind of colors that you need for contouring. Now, when it comes to powder contour, so then you have palettes, of course, which are palettes like this is by Kat Von D. This is a very, very famous palette. Most artists use it. And this is what it looks like. It has 3 shades for contouring as well as 3 shades for highlighting, if you can see. Again, this is something that really helps according to different skin tones because these 3 colors are very, very neutral. Okay, so there is a
Natasha, we've had questions where people ask, what is like the best kind of contour? So we had somebody ask us, if you have combination skin, what kind of contour do you use?
I'll get to the skin part. First, I'll show the products, then we'll get to the skin part so that everybody can know that what kind of products are available in the market when we want to use, when we want to contour. So again, this is another palette which is by Anastasia Beverly Hills that you can use for contouring. Again, you can see the 3 different shades, dark, medium, and light, as well as for the highlighting. And then you have palettes by Tarte, okay, which come with 2 highlighters. So this is something that I carry all the time. So there's a palette that comes with a highlighter, blush, and contour. So you can use products like these, okay? So now when it comes to your question, which is about, skin tone and contour. So of course, when you talk about dry skin, so when you use makeup for dry skin, you use a lot of creams to keep hydrating the skin. When you talk about oily skin, then you use powders because of course your skin is very oily. You do not want to add more oil to it, so you don't use cream contours there. Then you use powders, and then you kind of go overboard with adding onto the shade so that it lasts longer. Usually when you want the shade to last longer, you use a cream, and then on top of that you use a powder so that it lasts longer. But you can't manage to do that. Yeah, so you can't do that when it comes to a basic oily skin. So that's how you kind of mix and match your products. So now we'll get on to the process of actually doing it. So on one side of the face, I'll use a cream contour. The other side, I'll use a powder contour. And first I'll use a cream and then use a powder to kind of show the difference and how it looks, okay?
Amazing. So for guys who've joined us late, this is Natasha Arya and she's showing us how to contour your face, sharing all her tips and tricks so you get the perfect.
Absolutely.
Great.
So if anybody has any questions related to contouring, I know it's become so famous nowadays that everybody wants to kind of look perfect and make sure that the faces look structured and stuff. So please go ahead and ask all your questions. I'm more than happy to answer. In case you miss out the session, please feel free to DM me. I'll be more than happy to taking care of all your queries. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with the stick, that is the cream contour. And every time that you start to contour your face, you kind of start when you're doing your jawline. So a lot of people talk about starting from the tip of the ear to the edge of the lip, okay? But again, there are people whose faces are long, then there are people whose faces are small. So what you have to do is when you smile, where you can see, the cheek is kind of ending, that's where you must contour. So it's something like this. Now, ideally, if I would go by the rule, my line should have come till here. But of course, if I drag it too much, so everything that pulls down makes you look old, everything that pulls up makes you look more younger, which is why I want to end the cheek here so that it looks a little lifted, right? And when I start to blend it, will anyway spread.
So you're using the Fenty Beauty stick right
I'm
now.
using the Fenty Beauty.
Got it.
Similarly on this side. And of course, because I have a broad forehead, just try to hide that a bit. Again, people go overboard with the process of contouring. So I just have the suggestion for most people that nowadays everything's about looking natural. So don't go overboard with using the product and don't make your face look like, really dark. Make sure that your contours are natural so that when you're out in the sun in the day or even in the evening, the lighting is so great nowadays. It shouldn't look too sharp and too stark. It should look like natural skin, you know just
And how do you pick the shade for the contour now?
I'm sorry.
How do you pick the right shade?
So again, I'll come to that. When you pick the shade for contouring, the foundation color that you have, two shades darker than that is the right color for your contour, and two shades lighter than your foundation shade is the right color for your highlight. That's how you always pick the shade. It's not a universal color. If supposing by MAC your shade is NC20, then the right shade for your contour is probably going to be NC30, and the right shade for your highlight would probably be NC10. That's the way you pick it up, because for every skin tone it's kind of different. You can't. So like supposing someone who's a little wheatish in color, if I start to pick their contour color, for me it'll look way more darker than what my skin requires, and it'll start looking very stark. Then that's when it kind of goes wrong. So yeah, now that you can see, I've created a little structure, and this is how much the contour should be according to me. Everybody's opinion can obviously vary, but if you can see, it's very light. I've used some on the forehead, I've used some on the cheek, a little here. I want to, okay, I'll show you the nose as well. So when you do the nose contour, you always start from the corner of the brow, and again keep it very light. Similarly on this side.
I had another question.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, so how do you contour a flat nose?
So can we use foundations as contour? Yes, absolutely you can. You can use concealers, you can use foundations. They should just be well pigmented and it should do its job. If it's something that like a BB cream or a light coverage foundation, it will not do its job. But again, if your skin is very clear and you need only a tad bit of that color to kind of enhance it, then please go ahead and use lighter shades. There is no rule in makeup that you can't use a powder for not contouring. If you have a darker color powder, then you can definitely use it. There's no rule that you can't use a foundation or a concealer for contouring. You most definitely can use it. So you know how people, I always have the suggestion to people that don't buy too many products. Consolidate your kit. There are a lot of products in your kit that you don't know that you can use it in different ways. So kind of consolidate, your kit. So again, now that I've put I've put it where it's needed, I'll show you the tools by which we can kind of contour. So you can of course use tools like blenders as well as brushes. This is the kind of a brush that you need to contour. It's a flat brush, so this is a bit fluffy. This is going to blend really well. So if you can see, just keep it on this and begin to blend it in a circular motion and making sure that it keeps it upwards. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. Because I can't see this, I'm looking at the mirror. So you can see how in a circular motion you kind of blend it. And you can already see how the cheek is looking contoured. Okay. And of course,
We have a lot of questions. Let me quickly.
yeah, we'll get to them. So why don't you keep asking questions, Radhika? I'll be more than happy.
I had a question and we got one in the morning. How do you contour a flat nose?
How do you contour?
A flat nose.
Yeah, so I'll get to that.
All right.
when we get to the contouring the nose. Again, now you see how I'm contouring the jawline.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with contouring where your jawline is and always blend it downwards. So it's not a stark line, you know. That's what I was talking about when a lot of people have a stark line. Here, if you go for weddings, you'll see a lot of people have a stark brown line. So always like kind of blend it into the skin and blend it downwards so that it's not stark.
Got it.
Again, it should look natural. So you can see, although it's contoured, but it's not looking, you know, if you can see from a distance, it's not looking like a stark line, right? So on this side, we use this fluffy brush, which is a flat brush. Now this is another contour brush, which is a flat brush. Again, similar looking, but way more precise. So
Mm-hmm.
this I mostly use for the nose. If you can see, just pull it backwards because it's so precise.
Very. So when you contour your nose, it makes the nose look darker. Do you have any suggestion for that?
So basically what happens with the nose is, because if you can see, a lot of people have the problem of having a little thick nose or like a flat nose, you know. Mostly people who look a little oriental, they have like a flat nose, or some people have a very sharp nose, so then you got to push it back. So what happens is you start with contouring from the tip of your brow and you kind of create a line downwards and make sure that it looks straight. So if you can
Mm-hmm.
see right now, it's looking straight. That's how it should be. Similarly, from this side, from the corner of the brow, this is how you draw a line, okay? If the nose is very pointed, then you kind of put a little bit of a contour here. Whatever needs to be pushed back is where you need to add, you know, the contour. And then you kind of blend it in. So like I used a brush, but sometimes I'm very comfortable with using, the warmth of my fingers, because that kind of blends the product a lot better. It also gives me a very good idea if, the blending is going right. So if you can see, that's how I've done it,
Mm-hmm.
So now my nose looks way more sleeker. And again, if you look at it from a corner, it doesn't look like this product on the face. It's still looking natural, and that's because you have to keep blending it in, right? Like this.
Got it. Can you
And
also
now on the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a blender. So whenever you use a blender, make sure that it's always damp, and just kind of,
could you also please share the brush details once you're
yeah,
done with that?
yeah. So this brush is by, um, just give me a minute. It's S62. It's by Sigma.
Got it.
So as you can see, again, I'm using the back of a blender and just blending in the product. So that is another way that you can use to blend the product. Sometimes you don't have a brush, and other times what you can do is you can use your hand, because it's cream, so you can kind of just blend it with the hand. The hand is a great blender. For a lot of people who don't want to buy brushes, they should know that they're not out of options.
Okay.
See how I'm pulling it downwards.
Okay, so tell us, how do you recommend people contour their face for round face, or if they want to make their face look longer? What are your tips for that?
So if somebody wants to contour a round face, now my face is a little oval, but mostly looks round. After I've contoured, it started to look more long. So how you do that is you break the face by contouring. If it's a round face, you kind of break it into two, By creating a contour line, you create a little bit of the cheekbone and then the rest of the area. So now what you do is, of course, like now that I've contoured the face, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it out. So I'm using this powder by Huda Beauty. It's in the shade Pound Cake. It's a little light shade. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and just take some powder and just kind of clean out the excess in the end. Sometimes when we are blending, it tends to go a little down. So if you don't want it really down, so then you kind of take a powder which has a little bit of a tint. You could also use some concealer. And if you can see, just kind of clean it out. Similarly on this side, just kind of clean it out. Then when it comes to the nose, don't go near the nose, but only from the area near the eye. Just kind of clean it out. Because these small things, when you look at a person, it really matters. Making sure that both sides are equal. So you are your best judge. Your camera, your mirror is your best judge. Always look at it, look at yourself, and make sure that both the sides are equal. And just kind of clean it out. So that's how you kind of correct the contour. Now that you see, if you can see in the mirror, it's looking even more chiseled,
Yep.
And it's not looking very stark. If you know what I mean, it's not looking like a brown line of the contour. A lot of videos that we see online, that we see of artists, is when people see that they're using dark colors of contour and then highlights and then they blend it. Yes, of course, that is great, but the idea of doing that is so that the people can see that where all the application happens. But when you actually get down to contouring, you do not need so much product. That is only done in videos so that people can see where all the application is done. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. So the next process, of course, is my favorite, that is highlight. And again, highlighting is a process that I do before using the blush. So I'm using this natural highlighter and I'm using my beauty blender. I always use a damp beauty blender from the back side and take a lot of highlighter and kind of push it into the skin. So can you see how natural it's looking?
Yep. It's adding that little dewy look here.
Yes. And it's also, once the highlight is happening, the skin is looking lifted. So now we always want our cheekbones to look lifted while we want this area to look chiseled. So that's how it is. How to choose and apply foundation for uneven facial skin tone for dusky skin? Ma'am, please reply. Apply foundation for uneven skin tone. So for uneven skin tone, I would always recommend that you use the lightest form of foundation. Use a primer, of course, but if it's really uneven, then even a primer cannot help it. It is a myth that a primer can take away your pores. It can hide it, it can camouflage it, but it cannot take away. These are some things that are naturally there, but you can of course make it look better, but you can't make it go away. So use the lightest form of foundation. Use a liquid foundation or use a mousse based foundation. Please don't use a thick foundation because that will make the structure look even more enhanced.
Okay, now that you spoke about like a thin face, tell us how would you contour your face to a fuller cheek or like a
So how to contour for a fuller cheek? So when it comes to a fuller cheek, so when you say a fuller cheek, you mean that enhanced cheekbone, somebody like, whose face looks like they've gotten Botox. So then you don't go ahead with too much contour because what you're trying to achieve out of contouring is already there with the person. Then you work on other areas of contouring, which is maybe the jawline, the nose, the forehead, if at all they have a big forehead. And if somebody has a smaller forehead, then you highlight this area, make sure that that looks enhanced. Then you got to kind of manage that. So that's how it is. So can you see how the highlighting is helping?
Yep.
So you always highlight in a C motion. You go overboard with your cheekbone and a little towards the side of the brow.
Okay, so we have a question. Can they use powder contour instead of a cream contour?
Absolutely. So I'm going to do that now. What happens with the powder contour is that everything that's used as a cream, when it's topped with a powder, it always seals the product. So it becomes more permanent and always lasts longer. And if you have oily skin and you only want to use powder, and if you do not even feel like using too much product on your face, because sometimes you don't want to, if you only want to use powder, then you use a good sealer on the face, use a good fixer. You have great fixers by MAC, and you have Smashbox, a lot of brands that have nice fixers. If you don't have a good fixer, then please take a bottle and add some water in it and just spray it on your face. It works as a brilliant fixer. So, it just kind of sets the makeup. So now that you can see, I have done that. And now I'm going to go ahead and use the powder contour.
And is the same shade as the Fenty Beauty contour, or how do you pick it?
Yes. So that shade, again, there are two shades that I use right now. One is Mocha by Fenty Beauty. The other I use was Truffle by Plunge by O3 Plus. Again, these are the two favorite shades that I always swear by for, contouring. So now that I'm done doing that, I'm taking the contour shade from my palette. What you can also do is, a lot of people ask if bronzing is contouring. Yes, bronzing is contouring. So you just need to pick up the right shade. Again, it should be something that should be matching 2 tones darker than your skin tone. So if that matches that bronzer, then it's a great shade for contouring. Also, there are people who pick up compact powders. You can go to MAC or you can go to any of these brands actually, and you can pick up 2 shades darker than your skin tone. The color of the compact powder, that would also work as a brilliant contour powder. So this is something that's similar. So I've just taken some. I haven't gone overboard with the product. Why? Is because I've already had the product applied. But if you can see, just kind of doing it a little more.
Got it.
Similarly on this side. That is it. Again, very natural looking contours. And again, when you take the product, always take the product and dab out the excess product. So you don't want the droppage on your face. And then just, because it's so precise from the corner, just make sure that you're drawing the line correctly. And again, going all the way till the tip of the brow.
Between bronzing and contour.
What's the difference? There's no difference. Bronzer is just a color. Yes, of course, there's another process of bronzing that, you take the liquid bronzers and you rub it on your feet because to make it look like really flashy and stuff like that. Some bronzers come with shimmers, but you can't use that for contouring. You can only use that as body shimmers to kind of tone down your skin tone. Those are different bronzers. So as you can see, always pulling it downwards, and always use a very, very light hand when you're doing the makeup. Very, very light hand. And when your fingers clean, just kind of clean it out from the middle so that it looks even. So that's how it is. It still looks natural, right? It doesn't look like it's color.
Yeah. So we have a question saying how to contour broad nose. We've already answered that.
Answer that question, yeah.
Right.
I was just going to say that.
Yes, I'm so sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah. So I was saying that everybody who's asking questions that have been repeated, please don't worry. This session is going to be saved on the Instagram page. And you're most welcome to come back and refer to it because it's going to be around. So you can come back and refer to it and learn the techniques over and over again, see and practice it over and over again. So, we'll answer questions that haven't been asked earlier so that everybody kinds of gets to know what's happening here. So now that the process of contouring and highlighting is done, now I'll go ahead and use, so most people use blush first, but I use the blush right in the end. Okay. And I'm using this palette by NARS. It's a beautiful palette because if you can see, it has very natural shades. This has a nice light brown, which you can use for a daytime contouring. Lovely shades for the blush. This is a shade of the blush and the shimmer, so you can use it as a highlighter. This is a highlighter. So it's a beautiful palette. So I'll just take some of the blush using a fluffy brush. Again, dab out the excess and just go over the contour line. Don't make it 2 lines. Make sure that you merge the two together. And make sure that your hand is as light as possible. Sometimes the technique of using a blush can also work as contour. Sometimes you don't need to use contouring. You can only use the blush in the areas of contouring and it kind of already enhances it. But again, that is something that artists do because, we have our hands on. So if you can see, I'm not crossing the line so that, when you look at me from the front angle, it's breaking, right?
Okay, so should we merge the contour line and the blush line?
Yes, absolutely. Please make sure that they don't look stark. Imagine if you're looking at someone and two lines are there, it'll look funny. So please don't confuse yourself by thinking it's a huge deal and it's a process. You just have to make sure that everything kind of stands out together and your skin, you look fine. So as you can see, I'm going overboard with the contour line and blending that in. Similarly on this side. So again, like I'm using darker colors towards the edge, and now I'm just dabbing off the excess product and taking the lightest shade in this palette. Taking a lot of it because this color won't show, and just smile and
Got it.
on the apple of the cheek. Don't go overboard with too much color on the apple of the cheek because then it just looks like someone's hit you. And always pull it backwards. Take a little color and yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And just to top it up, I'll add a little lip color so that the look kind of looks complete. Turn the light also a bit. So I'm just going to add a very neutral peachish color.
Okay. Okay, so whoever we're going to save this on IGTV, so no worry, because this is going to be there. Amazing.
So I've added a very nice, pretty peachish color, which kind of adds to the entire look. Yeah. Because I've used a blush color that is also very peachish. I haven't, gone overboard with using the pink or too much of the pink. So that's how, then it kind of, everything should kind of look together. It shouldn't look too much. Also, when you have like, I've done a little bit of the eye makeup, played around with the eyes. So if you have dark eyes, and make sure that the lips are neutral. If you're wearing a bold lip, then make sure that the eyes are lesser. Just small tips like these. So I think more or less we've covered all the questions. If anybody has, okay, somebody's asking for the lipstick shade. Just give me a minute. The lipstick is by Wink Me, which is by Chandni Girdhar. Yeah. So the shade is called Creator. The shade is called Creator. That's what it's by Wink Me by Chandni Girdhar. Yeah.
Okay, so all other questions, guys, we will be taking up later. You can DM us, you can DM Natasha, and we will answer all your questions.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to.
Of the live.
Yeah.
Natasha, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the giveaway is going to be?
Absolutely. So since Radhika got in touch with me and we were planning this session for a while, so I thought let's arrange a little surprise for all the people who are, who spent so much time looking at the session and learned and of course appreciated it so much. We have a little surprise that is planned, and that is a question that I will ask you, and whoever answers the question correctly, one lucky winner is going to get a prize from my end, and that is going to be a giveaway worth 2,000 rupees, and there are going to be 3 products in that. So I really hope you guys enjoy that. So the question is that there is a shade by O3 Plus that I used for the contour. What is the name of that shade? So whoever was watching this session, please send me the answers if you want to win this. And while you send that, please make sure that you tag 3 pages. One is, of course, Beauty Airblack. One is Makeup by Natasha Arya and Plunge USA. The details on a post so that all of you can refer to it. Sorry?
We lost you there for a second.
I'm sorry?
We lost you for a second.
Okay,
Let's repeat
so,
that again.
oh God, guys, stop answering over
You
here. Everybody's answering over here. Guys, you're decreasing your chances of winning. So please don't answer over here. Mocha was Fenty Beauty. So whoever was watching this session, the question again is, there was a shade by O3 Plus that I used for the contour. Which shade was that? And you're decreasing your chances of winning. So, so please answer to that question. One lucky winner is going to get a giveaway, which is going to be from my side. And please tag us in the post that you make. You know, make sure that when you answer, you tag us in the post, and you tag 3 people. One is beauty.airblack. One is makeup by Natasha Arya. One is Plunge USA. So please go ahead, participate, and we'll be more than happy to pick one of you as winners. And besides that, if you have any other questions that are related to contouring, highlighting, please feel happy. Please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm always available to answer to all your queries. When it comes to makeup, I'll be more than happy to taking care of all your questions. And that's it.
Okay, so thank you so much for watching this session. Natasha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
And
you so much, Radhika. It was an absolute pleasure for me. And I would like to personally thank all the viewers who have watched our session, your viewers as well as my viewers. You know, it takes a lot for people to kind of take out the time and do the learning bit. So thank you for watching and taking out the time. And
I enjoying this session, and if you want to know many more such tips and tricks and attend our masterclasses, go check out the link in our bio. And
absolutely.
thank you so much, Natasha, for coming
Most
over.
welcome. And if you guys would want us to take up more classes, and if there are any, particular topics that you would want us to cover, we are more than happy coming up and teaching. So please let us know.
Thank you so much, Natasha. We'll see you
Most
soon.
welcome, Radhika. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Next Saturday. Bye.